Templates are great time savers if you use Blender a lot, especially for a specific application, or you need to set up the default screen to serve your particular needs. Generally Blender comes up in the default scene showing the cube and your panels and the top. For many things, this isn't what you want to do. So what Blender has done is they've provided some basic templates. If you come up to File and New, you will see that there is a general template, a template for animation, a basic layout. Well, the basic layout is a template I've added for myself. The scripting is a template which I've never used. There's also a VFX which I've never used, and there's a video editing template which I use a lot. So if I want to do something myself, I always come up to File, New, and I go down to the basic layout more often than not. Because I have such bad vision, I set my basic layout so that it comes out with if I go to the render scene, with a dark black background so that I can easily see things. This may not be for everybody, but for me this is ideal. And I also put in some basic objects that I use all the time, so that when I come into it, if I want to get rid of something, instead of having to make a bunch of things, I can just delete a few things and I have my basic scene ready to go. So what this tutorial about is how to make make a new template. Blender didn't make it quite as easy as you would have hoped. You have to actually do a little file editing, and that makes it a little more difficult for some. I want to say right up front, this is not as difficult as it might sound. It just takes a couple of simple steps, and we'll go through them right now. Changing files always seems to be intimidating, but it's actually, in this case, quite simple. The hardest part of the whole setup is finding the file you want to change, or actually in this case, really the folder. So the first thing you do will go in my case, I go up to the C drive, program files, not program 86 files. If you have a really old computer, you may use that one. The program files, then Blender Foundation, then Blender 291, then 291, then scripts, then startup, then the BL app template system. Once you get clear down there, you will find the folders with all your templates in them. As you recall, I showed you that I had made a new one called Basic Layout. Here it is right here, and these are the rest of the folders that show up. To make a new template, all you do is copy an existing template. So I will copy this one, paste it, and it'll ask you if you want to continue. Tell it yes, and it will. And now I have a copy of that, and I'm going to rename this I'll just call it my video sequencer. Because at some point, and maybe right now, we'll add a video sequencer in, because I don't like to use the one that they provide us. Now all we have to do is to go back to Blender, and let's just go to File, New, General. I don't want to save what I had there, that's no reason. Now if we go and look up in the File, New list, there's my video sequencer. So if I pick that, okay, To save a blend, it comes up with a new template, which is a sculpting template for some reason. So we're going to just change it. We're going to add to the menu here. I'll just add layout. You always want a layout. So now we have the new template we want. Sort of to test it, we'll just delete this cube. We'll add back in, this time we'll add something a little different so we know that it's different. Add in a cone. So now we have our new template built. Make whatever changes you want. We can change the background and pretty much everything else. Once we have it saved or created, remember this still says BlenderTemplate. We haven't saved anything. We've just set up our new template. So we're going to come down to File, Default, and click on the video sequencer here. And then Save Startup. And it makes sure it asks you if you want to save the startup file. If it doesn't make this second question, you aren't going to save it. So now we've saved our new template. To find out if it worked, we can come up to File, New, and we can go to my basic layout, which is very different. And again, we don't want to save the file. Now we see this is my basic template. Now we can go back to File, New, and My Video Sequencer, and we don't want to save anything, and we have our new template. So it's that easy. The real big two secrets are how to find the file and how to save the file. So just have fun, make all the templates you want.